A man named Angel de la Guardia walked through a factory, heading toward an elevator before entering a restricted room, after he received a call from his subordinate, who has just inspected an antique shop owned by Jesús Gris and his granddaughter, Aurora. Not long after the shop opens, a strange man walks in and begins examining every item for sale. Jesus watches him closely, following his every move, until the man suddenly leaves. Curious, Jesus inspects the items again and notices something unusual, a small angel statue. Meanwhile, Angel brings food to his uncle, Dieter de la Guardia. Inside the room, dozens of angel statues hang from the ceiling. Dieter quickly scolds Angel for speaking too loudly. Following his uncle's order, Angel goes to the antique shop to purchase the statue. Dieter, having received the report, insists that the piece must belong to them. But Angel is clearly frustrated. He's already bought countless statues before, and this feels no different. However, Jesus has already discovered something hidden inside the statue. After noticing a cockroach crawling out from a crack in its eye, he carefully opens the base, uncovering its mysterious contents. Later, Angel casually offers Aurora a piece of gum, then oddly asks both her and Jesus for advice about what kind of nose he should choose for plastic surgery. Meanwhile, his wife, Mercedes Gris, is busy teaching a tango class. Jesus suddenly arrives, his hand injured after experimenting with a strange device he had placed on it. The device suddenly springs to life, unfolding 6 thin, insect-like legs, each tipped with a sharp stinger. Aurora notices it immediately. Before anyone can react, the device tightens its grip around Jesus' hand, causing him pain. She looks at him, and the moment becomes awkward. Mercedes treats his wound and carefully pulls out one of the stinger lodged in his skin. That night, Jesus is overwhelmed by an unnatural thirst. He drinks all the water in the kettle, but it doesn't seem to help. Then he notices a piece of raw meat, and disturbingly, he feels drawn to it. His hand becomes unbearably itchy, so much that he scratches it with scissors. Lying on the floor, restless and desperate, an idea begins to form. He picks up the device again and uses it once more, whispering a quiet prayer. This time, the mechanism changes. A larger needle extends and pierces into his vein. Inside, gears begin to turn, and something within the device starts feeding on his blood. Aurora witnesses everything. Jesus simply reassures her, insisting that he's perfectly fine. The next day, Jesus looks into the mirror and is stunned to see himself appearing younger. Even his wife Mercedes is captivated by the sudden change in his appearance. Heads to the factory. There, he angrily confronts Angel, after discovering that his antique shop has been broken into and left in complete disarray. Spotting one remaining still intact, Jesus knocks it down. Angel then tells him to meet his uncle. Inside, Dieter de la Guardia hands Jesus the head of a statue along with an old book. He explained that he has spent over 40 years searching for the secret of immortality. As Jesus flipped through the page, he noticed a drawing of an insect identical to the one inside the mysterious device. It soon became clear that Dieter himself is dying, weakened by cancer despite undergoing surgery. He revealed what was removed from his body, preserved inside a glass jar. When Dieter noticed Jesus' hand, his expression turns furious. He grabs a box and calls for his nephew, and Angel hands Jesus his shoes back. After returning home, Jesus quickly reached under his bed to retrieve the box, but it's gone. Meanwhile, Dieter opened the box himself and discovered the cut padlock from Jesus' antique shop inside. Through a speaker, he begins threatening him, his voice echoing coldly. Realizing what's happening, Jesus rushes up to the rooftop and heads toward the storage room. He searches through Aurora's toy box, until he notices her small feet hiding nearby. He trying to reassure her. After a moment, Aurora slowly comes out, clutching a doll, the very one hiding the device. The next morning, Mercedes urges Jesus to hurry up in the bathroom, but inside he is already using the device again, pressing it against his chest. At first, it caused him pain, but soon, that pain fades into a strange sense of relief. When it's over, he stares at the device for a moment, then hides it back inside the doll. Looking at himself in the mirror, he noticed something unsettling. The wound on his chest is leaking a strange sap-like substance. A flicker of worry crosses his face, but he quickly cleans it up, trying to ignore it. At a New Year's celebration, Jesus dances with his wife, Mercedes. But during dinner, his attention suddenly locks onto a man suffering from a nosebleed, his gaze drawn almost hungry to the blood. Unable to resist, he quietly follows the man into the restroom. After the man leaves, Jesus stares at the blood left behind in the sink, tempted to taste it. But before he can act, a staff member walks out of the restroom and cleans it away. Outside, the crowd begin the countdown, voice rising in excitement as the new year arrives. Meanwhile, Mercedes and Aurora wait anxiously for Jesus, unaware that he has already been taken by Angel. Earlier, while Jesus was crouched on the floor, fixated on a small drop of blood, someone suddenly entered and struck him, knocking him unconscious. He later wakes up at a viewing point high in the mountain. Angel forces him awake by making him drink whiskey, then begin questioning him about the device. The interrogation spirals out of control. In a fit of rage, Angel keeps hitting him, until, without realizing it, he goes too far. He pushed the car toward the edge of a cliff, but the vehicle gets stuck halfway. Frustrated, he prepares himself, then throws himself against the car, sending it plunging to the ground below. The next day, Angel arrives at the funeral home, his nose still bandaged from a blow his uncle gave him. He keeps repeating the same excuse, that the car simply slipped off the road. It's a story he clings to the entire time, after being summoned by his uncle through the intercom. Angel always complains when his uncle calls him, but the moment they speak, his voice softens, almost obedient. His uncle asks if he checked the heart. Angel shrugs it off, saying it doesn't matter anymore, he's dead. But his uncle isn't satisfied. He scolds him again, ordering him to find the device at all cost. Angel approached Jesus's body and slipped the chewing gum wrapper into his suit pocket after eating its content. He glances around to make sure no one is watching. Then, slowly, he covers Jesus's nose, testing just to be certain that he's truly dead. That night, Jesus wanders in confusion, before stepping on shattered glass. Using the sharp piece, he carefully begins cutting the stitches inside his mouth. No one realizes it yet. After falling from the cliff, he survived. Even when the mortician professionally prepared his body, stitching his mouth and covering the wounds on his head, he was still alive. But his body is scheduled for cremation. Mortician complains. No one even informed him. He feels completely disrespected. Before the cremation begins, the mortician wipes away the lipstick on his face and closes the coffin. However, the cremation system malfunctions, forcing him to go downstairs and fix the gas flow. He noticed the coffin has opened, so he shuts it again and presses a button. The coffin slides forward into the furnace and closes the chamber door. Moment later, Angel arrived to check on Jesus' body, but it is already inside the cremation chamber. Jesus scavenges through the streets and finds a piece of cloth, using it to cover his body, and pick up a newspaper, and freezes as he reads the headline announcing his own death. He calls out to his wife over the phone, but she hangs up on him. Unbeknownst to him, Aurora has overheard the entire conversation. He returned home later. Aurora opened the door for him and handed him a towel without saying a word. Inside, Jesus wrapped bandage around his hand while Aurora emptied her toy box, turning it into a small bed for her grandfather. He rests during the day, having learned that sunlight can burn his body. Later, Aurora draws on the wall as Jesus wakes up. Below them, his wife plays the piano softly. Jesus tries to write her a letter, but he keeps making mistake. His tongue even turned blue from the pen ink. Quietly, Aurora collects each discarded piece. He returned to the factory, moving carefully after the security guard leaves. He quietly presses the elevator button, but suddenly notices Aurora has followed him. He tried to explain the situation, but Aurora simply smiled. With no other choice, he brings her along, lifting her up through a small food hatch. She then opened the door for him. Inside, he immediately starts searching through the desk drawers. Meanwhile, Aurora looks around curiously. She opens another drawer and finds a small box, taking it without realizing that Dieter has already woken up. Jesus opened the box and begins scanning through the book, searching for answer. But Dieter calmly reveals that he has eaten the missing page himself. Jesus complains about his condition, but Dieter coldly tells him he must shed his skin and quietly call for his nephew. It becomes clear he now needs blood to stay alive. Desperate, he threatened to destroy the device, but Dieter reminds him, if the device is destroyed, he will die with it. He then offers a deal, the device in exchange for a way out, but quietly draw a hidden blade from his cane. Below, Angel tried to contact his uncle, but get no response. He says hesitate, then hand over the device. In an instant, Dieter stab him, but he doesn't die. He move in to finish the job, until suddenly, Aurora strike him from behind, knocking him unconscious. An overwhelming thirst begin to take over. He looks at Dieter and gives in. At that moment, the elevator can be heard rising. He reacts instantly, pulling Aurora and go hiding. Moment later, Angel step into the room carefully and find his uncle lying unconscious on the floor, covered in blood. Angel is overjoyed. Everything is finally going to be his. Dieter weakly lifts his hand, asking for help, but instead, Angel coldly finish him. Suddenly, Jesus strike from behind. Angel stumble, groaning as his nose gets hit again. Jesus grab Aurora and run for the rooftop. Angel snap a towel rack off the wall, turning it into a weapon. Jesus pull Aurora along, searching for a way out, but there's nowhere to go. Then Angel appear, climbing up the stairs toward them. With no time left, he makes a desperate move. He help Aurora climb onto the building's rooftop sign and tell her to go down using the ladder attached to it. Angel faces Jesus, and he attack. Jesus blocked the blow with his hand, wincing in pain. He keep hitting and kicking him until he collapses to the ground. As Angel turn his attention to Aurora, who is hanging from the ladder, Jesus call out to him, then pretend to look toward Aurora, throwing him off guard. And in that instant, Jesus lunges at him, tackling him and sending them both crashing down below. Aurora arrives and gently caresses his face, before taking out the device and placing it on his chest. The mechanism begins to move. A moment later, Jesus' eyes open. He rises slowly, then begins shedding the skin around his stomach, while Aurora watches in discomfort. Then he notices her injured hand, the hunger return. For a moment he's tempted, but he fights it. With all his strength, he pulls the device from his chest and smashes it against a rock, each strike weakening him further. Finally, he collapses. Aurora helps him back home. Not long after, his wife arrives and gently kisses his hand.